Hello and welcome to today's Q&A video with me, Chloe. Before I get into it, I just want to say a quick thank you to every single one of you who have subscribed to this channel. The fact that you're interested in this content and are watching these videos truly means the world to me. It's my job and responsibility to provide the most value that I possibly can. Ultimately, I am here to serve you. So if you have any questions or want something covered, just let me know. I'll make it happen. Today's question is, what is a sales funnel? And the follow-up, why does that matter to you? So a sales funnel is one of those buzzwords that you hear flying around in the marketing space. Most people don't like the word, but ultimately it explains exactly what it does. It is the process for guiding connections and turning them into customers. There's a bit of a misunderstanding on social media that just happens. That you just go on social media and you talk to people and then you get sales. Doesn't quite work like that. Now, a lot of the time that's marketers' fault because we're always preaching that if you build relationships you will get sales, and that's not incorrect, but again, they don't just happen on their own, and this is why. When someone is on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or Snapchat or wherever, on the interwebs, social interwebs, wherever they are in a social mindset, right? They are on there to be social, whether it is catching up with friends, having conversations, maybe reading the news. They're in that social mindset, which is a very different mindset from a buyer who is ready to part with their cash. They have their wallet out and they have a problem and they want a solution, right? It's two different mindsets. And so we have to take them from a social mindset into a transactional mindset. Again, it doesn't just happen. You have to put the process in place step by step. And those steps form your sales funnel, where you take the big community that you have and whittle them down into paying customers. And ultimately the next step, which is brand advocates, when they're essentially doing a lot of your marketing for you, which is hugely powerful. It's word of mouth marketing on steroids, right? Because you're reaching the whole world when you're talking on social media. So I'm going to go through my sales funnel. It's a good one as an example in that most people it can apply to if you're doing sort of the online business sort of thing. But it's important to keep in mind that you have to make it your own. There's not a right or a wrong answer. And again, you have your own process for guiding customers through to a sale. What's important is you have one. This is to give you some inspiration and some ideas on how you can design one. And of course, the reason it matters is because you want sales. I think that's pretty straightforward. So I start on social media where I am trying to find my ideal customers. I'm trying to build a community and I'm trying to engage that community so they know who I am, how I can help, and they are having conversations with me. Ultimately, I want to then create content around their interests, but also around the solution and the problems they have and the solutions I provide. So a huge part of that is then amongst that conversation is to drive people to my website, where I have my BVP, as I call it, my blogs, my videos, and my podcasts. Ultimately, that's the next step in the sales funnel. I want to take them from social onto my website, or even if it's not my website, I want them to be listening to reading my blog, watching these videos on YouTube, or listening to my podcast. And how I feel like that is a good way to do it, in that I'm not taking them straight to a transactional mindset. They're not ready for that. But as part of their social thing, they're exploring, right? People read the news, read interesting articles, so they can click on one of these things. And if I can then provide value and talk about something they're struggling with, and again, provide the solution, they're suddenly exploring that. They're suddenly in problem solving mode. Whereas before they were in social mode and they read this article or they listened to this podcast or they watched this video and they're thinking, I don't know what that is, but I need that. I need to learn more about this. And if I can provide enough value up front with minimal risk, no risk, because they don't have to sign up, they don't have to do anything, they're free to leave. then I'm hoping that I can take them to the next stage, because now they're thinking about the problem that they have. They're thinking about the issues, and I've provided enough of a solution, but now they're hopefully wanting more. There's a reason I don't have, this is a side note, but there's a reason I don't have social media icons all over my website, because that takes them out of there. And if I'm trying to guide them through a process, I want them to go from social to the blog to then go on to my email list. I don't want them going back to social media. So once they're on my website, where my blogs and my videos and my podcasts are all stored, the next stage is to get them on my email list, which of course is the most valuable place in the world because you own it. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you don't own those. People can get distracted and leave. They can unfollow you, sometimes by accident. You can lose touch, and it's a very noisy place, so being able to talk one-on-one with those people is very difficult. Not only that, you don't always know who they are, right? If somebody signs up for your email list, you have access to their email, a one-on-one connection. You can reach them by email, and they have trusted you enough to do that. So for them to trust you enough to do that, they are interested in building a relationship with you, and they do need help. You know, it's like that thing of filtering it down, like I said, and that's a process. That filters it down to people that I know I can help, because they have come to me and they've said, I'm interested in learning more of what you have to say. So on my website, I have 2 ways you can sign up for my newsletter. You can go to c4compete.com/NL, which takes you to a newsletter page that shares the fact that, you know, if you sign up to my newsletter, you get exclusive access to me through email. So you can email me anytime and we can have a conversation, which is huge because, you know, it allows me to build that one-on-one relationship and really, really help that person. Not only that, but if they start replying to my emails, which is exclusive content, I'll talk about that in a second, then the problems that I hear through listening and really paying attention and taking notice of those people that are replying, that's scalable, because if they're having that problem, most of my audience are too. And so I am then able to scale that solution and maybe put it in my next newsletter. Now, the other way you can do it is through a social media crash course, which is when people really are paying attention. And again, it's a way of filtering it down to the people that I know I can help. If you sign up for a social media crash course, it's because you're interested and need help with social media. It's not going to attract experts and influencers. It's going to attract my ideal customers. And that's the whole point of it. Now again, just to talk about that, once they're on your email list, that's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. You've taken them, again, they've gone from social to problem solving to now they want to build a relationship, and they're actually really interested in what you have to say, right? They're getting close. The reason that you want to make that exclusive content is that a lot of people just post their blogs, right? And the thing about that is that your blogs could be really valuable, right? It's really, really valuable. But this is what we all do, because we all have crazy inboxes. I'm not going to read that, or I'll read that later. Or I could just catch it on their blog. There's not an incentive to open it. And just with on social media or any stage in your sales funnel, people need a reason to open or follow or whatever, but in this case, a reason to open your email and a reason to engage. So you have to make it exclusive. 1, they're signing over their email address to you, right? So give them something of value, like show your appreciation and exchange. And 2, make sure that it's exclusive so that they have to open it to see what's inside. Otherwise, they're going to miss it forever because you don't share it anywhere else. So that encourages people to stay interested and engaged. The second part is to make sure that you encourage them to reply to every single email. My emails are very simple. They're text. They're written exactly like how I would write an email to a friend, and I'm speaking directly to one person. That's intentional. I want you to know that I'm speaking to you. I want you to know that I'm having a conversation with you, and I'm genuinely interested in hearing your response or your feedback, or continuing that conversation simply by hitting reply, right? That's value, but it's also, you know, me listening and paying attention and trying to keep building that relationship. And then I can follow up with maybe a sales conversation or a webinar where I sell something, or a sales letter type email. And that's where you have built the relationship up so much that they are now thinking about that transaction. They are reaching the moment of truth where you have educated them as well. So educated them on, maybe they didn't realize what a big problem they had, or maybe they didn't realize how much help they needed with this, or maybe they did and you've really just done a great job. Either way, they'll reach the zero moment of truth where they decide whether they want to buy or they don't want to buy. Either way, they're in a transactional mindset, and that's hugely valuable. It may be the case that you have given enough free value that they don't need to pay for a service. That's still huge, because again, they can go skip right ahead and become your brand advocates. Oh, I didn't even have to pay anything and she changed my life, or he changed my life. That's huge. Those are going to become your best marketing team, right? And they're going to do it all for free because they love you, because you have given to them. And that is really, really important in building your tribe. For the ones who maybe do need your help, they can go on and pay for a service. And again, you can continue to provide value. But either way, you've educated them on exactly what they need help with. You've given them some of the tools. You've helped them with zero or minimum risk, and to the point where they are thinking about buying. And that is huge. Now, the other thing here is micro commitments. By taking them through that process, you have encouraged them to make micro commitments. And we know that as humans, it's in our innate behavior to conform. We conform to society, right? And so if you can get them from social to clicking on a link and saying yes, to then signing up to an email and saying yes, to then replying to an email and taking the action steps that you have included in that email and said yes. When you ask them for a sale, they are going to want to stay consistent to that behavior. We all do it. We all know this is true. And so again, those steps are so crucial in reaching that sales conversation that needs to take place. However, it does take place. You're making those micro commitments happen, and that's really, really important. The other thing you are doing is you are reaching them on different levels. We know that it takes 7 to 10 customer touch points before a customer is ready to buy from you. Now, a lot of people mistake that again as having 10 conversations on Twitter, or Facebook. I talk about Twitter all the time because it's my favorite, but on any platform, it doesn't work like that, because it's the same level of conversation. If you truly want to get in to know people and you truly want to build relationships, you need to go deep. And that means talking to them in different contexts and on different levels, which is why it's so important to, follow them everywhere and connect and engage with them on multiple platforms, because every platform is different and it's a different type of relationship and conversation you have on each one. So if you can cross-connect with them, if you can then build a relationship through your blog, through your email, through sales conversations, through phone calls, which are still hugely valuable. Not cold calling, actually picking up the phone and having a conversation with someone is hugely underrated. All of these things, it builds depth to your relationship, and so you really get to know people. And again, you can listen. If you listen, you hear the problems they have, and all of that is market research you can use to better your sales funnel, better the way you guide them through, ensuring that you're providing solutions, and also ultimately so that your paid services are meeting and then exceeding their customer expectations, which is again huge. You want to turn these people into brand advocates, which then they go on and market your stuff for you. They put people into your sales funnel. And so that's kind of what it is and how you can go through it. This can be different. I mean, if you're a B2B business owner, you could take them from Twitter, connect with them there, or connect on LinkedIn, then find them on Twitter, keep that conversation going. Use LinkedIn to send follow-up reminders where you send a follow-up email, then maybe you write a blog post that is focused specifically on them or sounds like you've made it just for them, even if it can apply across your entire market. You then follow up and then you ask if you want to have a conversation. You engage with their stuff in the meantime. There's different ways. The steps can change regardless of depending on you, depending on your business. And it's important you take time to really think about this and think, okay, what does the customer journey look like? How do I guide them? What is the movement of the customer, and how do I put a structure in place that guides them from A to B? And if you can do that, you are going to dramatically increase the sales in your business. It does take time, everything takes time, and it also takes a lot of effort. I hope that explains what a sales funnel is, why it's valuable to you, and how you can go about creating one for your business. It will dramatically impact your social media marketing success, I promise. If you have any questions, either relating to this video or any follow-up questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm here to help. And if you did find this valuable, it would mean the world to me if you considered subscribing, or you can join my email list where I do provide exclusive content every Monday in your inbox. I call them love letters from my heart to yours. So I'll include a link to that below if you feel like it would be valuable to you. Never forget that you have the power to change the world one connection and one conversation at a time. Much love from my heart to yours. And I truly hope we speak soon. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world.